Agent, provide a name, ID number, and mission to the camera.
Of course. My name is Agent Gerald Vance. ID number is 01051. Mission: retrieve an item from enemy territory.
Be more specific. State the asset and mission enemy.
Yes, sir. Item is a Class 5 bioweapon being held in a carrying case similar to a briefcase. Mission: enemy and holders of the weapon were Zemos. I'm sure you are familiar.
Yes, I'm afraid. Alright, now give me a full report on the mission itself.
Okay, the mission was simple. I was to infiltrate the Zemos outpost and snag the briefcase right under their noses. I arrived at 07 hours sharp and snuck my way through the halls until I made it to where the vault was kept. There were 2 guards, so I set up a distraction and had them follow me back down the hallway where I quickly lost them. On returning to the vault, I entered the code into the panel. Conveniently, the code was on a piece of paper waiting on the ground for me. Upon entry, I quickly grabbed the briefcase and hustled out only to run into one of the guards, spilling its contents and sending the items flying. I quickly disarmed the guard and, using my genius, used the advantage of my surroundings and hid. The guards continued to run, so I immediately grabbed as much as I could and made my way back to the entrance. Upon arriving, I found the guards waiting for me. I fought valiantly, but alas, I was overwhelmed. Next thing I knew, I was being dragged away to a torture chamber or whatnot. But then, using my brilliant agent skills, I snagged the briefcase and knocked my captor away, escaping. Upon return, the mission was considered a success by the higher-ups.
Fascinating. Is all this true?
Of course it is. What is there not to believe?
Well, for starters, you forgot about your partner.
Partner?
Agent, provide a name, ID number, and mission to the camera.
My name is Robert Harding. ID number 00421. And my mission was to accompany Agent Vance and retrieve a dangerous bioweapon from the Zymos company on behalf of the agency.
Alright, Agent Harding, describe the mission to the camera.
Yes, from the beginning the mission was flawed. Agent Vance and the imbecile must have forgotten that I've been assigned to the mission, so he left by the time I arrived at the station for dispatch.
Calm down, Harding.
Anyways, I drove my stick Mustang straight to the compound and I arrived not too far behind him. As I was running up to the Zymos compound, I saw through the front entrance, which you'd think he would know not to do, but there he was. I sneakily made my way around the building and entered through the back. And for a place with one of the most dangerous weapons in the world, they surely had a major lack of security. Anyway, upon entering, I saw him sneaking around near the guards. They saw him and of course went after him. Since he left me, I gave him a minute before I helped him and win. So I started cracking the easy I used the method taught to us at the academy and was writing out each hack number when they came running past and managed to outrun them. Guess who they saw?
You?
Oh, f***ing course! I had to drop crack in the vault and immediately book it out leaving the code. I ran down a corridor, evaded the 2 guards and doubled back to get to the vault. I was running so fast to get back that I ran into the Agent Vance, who immediately kicked me down and hid.
So it wasn't a gun?
What?
Nothing. Continue, please.
Yes, sir. When I ran into him, I sent everything with the briefcase of the bioweapon flying. Since I was on the ground, I couldn't really do anything, and I'm pretty sure he broke something. So I crawled onto the guards, vault out of sight of the guards who came scrambling by. I tend to my injury and saw from within the vault Agent Vance grabbed everything that was in the briefcase, except of course the bioweapon itself. I stumbled out of the vault, snatched it up, and then began making my way to the exit where I saw Vance, and of course he got captured. I then quickly came to the rescue and took the guards out with the Zazoot fighting style I learned in 1987 while studying in Japan, and I began pulling them, the briefcase, and the bioweapon out of the compound. I thought it was finally done with when the decided to disarm the steel and the briefcase and run. He didn't even have the thing he came for. And so it was up to me to slowly stumble out of the compound and bring the objective home. As for the guards, I had them brought in for a separate interrogation.
Did you know?
Of course, I figured they could be helped.
It appears you are gods of this story.
What story?
Yeah, what story?
The story of our agent stealing your company's weapon.
Those were agents? The amount of scrambling they were doing was ridiculous.
We went up and down the corridor so many times.
We were put in charge of watching the vault. And that's when we heard your first agent, who we immediately chased. Then we saw your second one. He went back down the same corridor and did the same move as the other agent somehow.
We were both exhausted, so we fell with the second invasion.
We figured if there was any chance of catching them, we would catch them at the exit. So we made our way over. We actually ambushed the first guy.
That's facts, man.
We were bringing your agent away to put him in a cell.
Per protocol.
Yes, per protocol. With all of a sudden, boom.
As one final question, I must ask, how did the mission go?
Perfectly, without a hitch. Horrible. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong.